cantina. Excuse me for that. Wanted to update you guys on the Jon Favreau situation. So apparently, they're actually now going public with at least part of a new contract that Jon Favreau signed with Disney, and it only is concerned with the streaming. And I want to say this. I think there's more to it. This in the direct has the article. It is linked to Puck, to Matt Maloney's story. And if you want to get a free subscription to read that, free trial, go ahead. God, why is my hair sticking straight up? I go outside to let the dog out, and I look like freaking Mary from There's Something About Mary. Look at that. If you want to go to get a free trial with Puck, do it to read that article. If you don't, you want to actually spend the money, it's expensive. But be my guest. Bellany is a very straight shooter. He's not a shill by any means. He's actually a real journalist, I'd say. Hey, Sci-Fi Universe. So what this tells me is that part of the story's coming out. This also tells me, I believe, it's a strong indication of why we got Leprosia's batshit crazy story about you have to leave Luke behind. We have to move on. Shit in Screen Rant, and why they were insisting on why Screen Rant was also insisting on a Rey trilogy. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out they're reacting to something, because geez, look at that. All right, maybe I should just leave it. Damn, come on. Jeez. Anyway, and I think that this is only part of the story. I'm going to say this. They're probably not ready to announce anything yet. Oh, please hit the likes and share it out and subscribe if you haven't. I do have a bunch of new subscribers. I've lost a few, probably due to some behind-the-scenes bullshit. And, people taking sides over a story they've only heard, half the story of. That's fine. I don't care. Anyway, I'm really interested in seeing what else happens here. Of course, Indiana Jones 5 wrapped the last couple of days. And it looks to me, well, it's not the shill. The shills are the people that love it. The black pills are the people that hate it and hate everything. They're the ones that go, oh, Mandalorian sucks. Book of Boba Fett sucks, and then bitch about a character in a cartoon. It is very interesting to me watching all this and seeing how this goes on, because if my gut is right, this is only part of the story. I do believe that Jon Favreau is likely the one in charge of Lucasfilm right now, and I do believe there's someplace it's getting out. I mean, we've got, yeah, all right, we got that, black pills. You're right, Sci-Fi Universe. I do believe that they probably got wind of this before we did. And I do believe that Doomcock's feeling and the story that Favreau, Baloney was the one that said, that Jon Favreau is getting the movies. Okay, so if that's the case, then Kennedy's out in Star Wars, and I think they know it. And I think they're trying to protect what they think is good, and it's not. Well, we don't know yet, Sci-Fi Universe. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't do anything about that, Maze. I can't do anything about it. Maybe if I do this. Um, uh, you know, we don't know if that's true. All right. We have to wait for official word. I'm gonna say, based on the story that Bellany got out, he's a better source than Screen Rant. I mean, Screen Rant's just nothing but a bunch of poorly educated slobs. Excuse me. So I think we'll give it a 50-50. All right, till we get word. Okay. It all hinges on when Kennedy leaves. And since Indy 5 wrapped, and it looks to me, if you're on Insta, you can find me at Stephanie at the Cantina. Dave. If you want to follow me at Insta, I'd be most appreciative. Hey, Dave. You can, but it looks to me that Frank Marshall has taken ownership of Indy 5. You've got people complaining in chats that Indy 5 wrapped, and of course, oh, I can't even see that movie. That's gonna suck, without seeing a trailer, without seeing any shots of it. She might go out quietly, but they're gonna have to announce it. I mean, that you can't just say, oh, she's still there, but Jon Favreau runs everything, and he's really the, oh, you did. You know, it's like, that's not how the force works. They're gonna have to announce it, and I think, but I think she's if she's signed to her contract, if again, let's remember this, people. She never signed. It was never officially announced that she signed any contract. Matt Bellany sarcastically said she did. If you read that article, the very end, he was very sarcastic about what a great producer she was and that she got her another contract. And I think that the subtext of that was she's not going to be there long. I think that's, if you read that, after reading the entire thing, that's basically she's not going to be there long. Okay. You know, with that and Marshall retweeting a retweet of somebody mentioning that article, to me, I think it's probably a payoff. It's probably, you can finish Indy 5 and wrap it, but we want you gone. Okay. And I think this is why, because look, we're only privy to some of the rumors. And a lot of these shills are connected to Lucasfilm through the minions. Okay. And they probably know a hell of a lot more than we do, and they're not saying anything. But their reactions to just what we've seen is startling. Does it have anything to do with the Star Cruiser? I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Those people, you know, they like, I mean, if a you know, Cape Buffalo took a dump in the middle of a street, and someone said it was Kyle Ron and Ray having a lightsaber fight, they'd all go, ooh, ah, you know, you know, I don't think it has anything to do with that. Like that article in Screen Rant that girl wrote, hysterical, stupid ideas, stupid subtext to it. There was no subtext. Like not hysterically funny, hysterical. Okay. No, she won't. No, she won't make a stink when she leaves. I think she and Frank had it out. I mean, I really do. And look, they're partners with Steven Spielberg at Amblin. Okay. They're partners in their own company, the Kennedy Marshall Company. Okay. So they're connected no matter what. And I think they had it out. And I think he realized just how badly she handled Star Wars by the poor way she was dealing with Indiana Jones 5. And I gotta say that she comes off like she's, if you ever watch her and her fakey hysterical her laughter, that weird sort of, it's almost like she's on this on the spectrum somewhere. I have to get diagnosed, but I wouldn't doubt that I have Asperger's syndrome. I think everybody who's a little bit eccentric, in some way or another, doesn't really fit in anywhere, kind of a social outcast, should probably get checked, because you probably do have that. I mean, you probably do have something like that. It's not, I don't look at it as crippling, but it's something to, you know, look into. But anyway, it's very interesting to me watching how this is playing out, because things are coming to a head. Okay. You've got Bellany posting that article in Puck, which is basically saying Disney, blah, blah, blah. And I'm pretty sure he mentioned Jon Favreau, and that I couldn't read it because I'm not going to spend, I think it's like $25 a month. Just no. If it was $2 a month, I would. Okay. But I'm not going to spend that much money on that. Now, if as subscriptions grow, they'll probably get more. But this is deep inside Hollywood stuff. Okay. This is my feeling that whatever Favreau signed, whether he's now the head of Lucasfilm because he wanted it, or he's got that other job and the head of Lucasfilm, or he's just got that other job and he's running the Star Wars franchise. I've got to say that this freaked out Kennedy's minions at Lucasfilm. And you gotta remember, Kennedy's right hand chick, Lin Brennan, is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. Okay, now granted, the Black Pills will say, well, she's been there for 20 years, she probably went retired. Yeah. So, the big elephant in the middle of the room is she's Kennedy's right-hand woman. Okay? It has nothing to do with her being there for 20 years. All right? She is the boss. She's number two, literally. And, you can tell that there's something going on just through that. And, I'm, looking at all this. Oh, we got a Russian bot in the chat. Please make that one go away. Fuck off, Vladimir. I don't like anybody in this fight. No Americans there, not even a little bit. Thanks, Dave. I'm literally just waiting for the other shoe to drop now. Okay. If it comes true, if it's official, that we get word that Favreau's number one at Lucasfilm, watch heads start to roll. I really want Matt Bellany. I might even write an email. Thank you, Dave. I might write him an email and just say, hey, look, dude, because I do have contact with the admin for their site. You should probably look into seeing what personnel changes are going on at Lucasfilm. Okay? Because I got a feeling something's happening there. And I got a feeling that Kennedy's not going to be there very long. Okay? And if he just starts snooping around, we might not hear anything for a while, but if he says Pablo's out, he's out. Well, here's the deal about that. 2018, when she got her contract renewed, Deadline Hollywood dropped it. She leaked it to Deadline Hollywood. All right. Hail, Joker voice. Oh, we're just, to get you up to speed, anybody who just got here, the Direct quoted a Matt Bellany article about Disney, and I put both articles in the description. Disney not having a good, basically, what they were doing was, he was talking about was the Beauty and the Beast, prequels, etc., being cut. And he mentioned Jon Favreau getting a huge contract to do streaming for Star Wars. Now, we got Sci-Fi Universe saying that he wants to be head of Lucasfilm to keep the Kennedy people away from it. But we don't have any official word. We have Matt Bellany sarcastically saying in that story a long time ago now that she did get her contract renewed, but it was a little blurb about that much, and he was very sarcastic. Then Frank Marshall retweeted a retweet of a tweet of his articles basically saying the same. And all this started happening as after her PGA video interview, and after she was basically forced to accept that PGA award with George Lucas, and before we found out that Blood and Bone was going to Paramount. Well, to me, Joker voice, he was extremely sarcastic. And he's a Hollywood insider, all right? As far as I'm concerned, he was an editor at The Hollywood Reporter. I'm not rooting for anybody in this. It's a long story. I don't want to get into it. We're not talking about that right now. So he's an insider. He knows what he's talking about. He's a member of the club. And if he goes through a whole thing saying why she sucks, and then I said, oh yeah, did you hear? She got her contract renewed for 3 years. So what's going on here? Well, this is the thing. Again, if you've seen the tweet, and I'll put it up on the community page, Frank Marshall posting a picture of a baseball cap with Indy on it, and he said, and it's a wrap. Now, that's all it says. But what does it mean? There's meaning behind symbols. There's a deep meaning there, and I think it means that he's now the sole, the buck stops here. He's the head producer. And I think after all the things that came out about Indy 5 in the Daily Mail, and I'm going to say this, I think Harrison Ford had a lot to do with all that, okay? I think that basically they said, Kathy, you can be the executive producer, but you can't do anything more in this movie. All right? And I do believe that that's what happened. I really, really do. And the reason why is because the only picture we've seen of her is at one at Galaxy's Edge, and she's wearing the exact same clothes, the exact same mask, black winter jacket, black t-shirt, blue jeans, and that same mask that she wore on the set of Indy 5 when it first started filming up in cold England, northern England. You know, what's going on here? It's weird. Okay, why is she in 85-degree weather wearing that outfit? Is it even real? Why would he be posting a Photoshop of that? Now, their daughter is standing behind her. Okay? And weirdly, Pete Soretta of, not Screen Rant, but the other one, Screen Flash or whatever, I can't remember what it was, posted, oh yeah, we were there too this weekend. Too bad we didn't see you. No word back from Frank. He's actually responded to me a couple times. All right. There's something weird about the picture. You know, people have been saying, well, she's older, so maybe she gets cold. 85-degree weather? Really? You know, that's trying to rationalize. The picture's weird. I'm never going to get over it till I find out what the truth is. This is when I get a. No, there isn't, and I think, like I've said, and you know, Mike, the Mexican Iron Man, who it's his birthday today. He and I had a long conversation about it, and he thinks that she's done between 6 and 9 months to a year. I think she's done sooner. I think they don't want her around. If Sci-Fi Universe's sources are right, the board wants her out. Okay, if the board wants her out, she's gone. They're gonna say you need to resign. Bye, see ya. Bye-bye. We'll pay you off, go away. Okay. You know, and they can keep paying her paycheck, you know, but you know, her title will not be existent. It's gonna go to somebody else. And I've thought since this stuff started happening, since I started hearing the board wants her gone, she's lost everything. I mean, there's no movement on the Acolyte at all. That, and look, the shills have noticed that too. Okay? No word. Nothing. Well, I think he did it deliberately. I think he slow rolled the injury. I mean, you can't, again, having hurt my shoulder after being thrown off an Appaloosa mare, not being allowed to ride after that until my shoulder got better. I don't see how he could be riding around London, Mayfair. I've been there. We were going out to dinner, dressed to the nines, gowns and everything, in high heels, trying to walk on those cobblestones to and from the taxi. Okay? I don't see how he could be riding even a sporty, really well-made Italian racing bike on those cobblestones. I just don't. So, I think he slow rolled it. As far as this movie should never be made. I don't see what the problem with the movie is. Again, we have a problem with the fandom where people don't have to explain in the chat why they believe something shouldn't be made. My problem with Indy 5 is Kathy Kennedy, the casting of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and the fact that it was filmed just now and not 4 years ago when it should have been. What was the delay? What was going on? Why did Steven Spielberg leave? Why isn't George Lucas part of this? Why didn't George Lucas go to the Rise of Skywalker premiere? All these things are starting to kind of turn into the proverbial snowball rolling down the hill. And it does, but as far as the movie not being made and the absolute ageism, yeah, and they're right. The absolute ageism of the fans. When the guy is in better shape than all of them combined. Oh yeah, we know that Joker voice. When they announced Brie Larson, there was kind of a rumor she was being attached to Acolyte. I think that was wishful thinking now. Okay, I don't think she ever was. She wanted to be in it. I believe that was on her part. But by that time, Jon Favreau was already kind of being given keys to the kingdom. And I don't think neither him nor Filoni are interested in making this shitty show or it being allowed to happen. And, Larson, they conveniently made sure Larson was nowhere to be near it. Okay. That ensures it's not going to happen. Okay. That ensures it's not going to happen. Or it's a better bet. But, when we're looking at all this, we have to understand that there's a ton of politics going on behind the scenes. A ton. Okay, so when we think about, okay, why is this happening? Why aren't they doing this? Why is this happening? We have to remember that everything that we're watching going on right now isn't what on the surface isn't the whole story. There's a reason why the shills are doing what they're doing, and the black pills are going to respond like the shills know what the fuck they're talking about. They're kind of like a symbiotic relationship. Joe Rogan, this is the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life. Joe Rogan posted a picture on his Insta of a poor fish caught in Africa. And inside the tongue, you saw literally sticking out of the tongue of the fish was what looked like the face of, I'm going to say, one of the pikes. It looked like the face of a pike. It was a parasite. And it was about like that big. And it was fucking gross. That's the kind of relationship the shills and the black pills have. Okay. They're symbiotic. They're unhealthy for each other and they're unhealthy for the entire ecosystem. Okay. We got this Madeline Leperazzi begging that we leave Luke Skywalker behind. No, we're not. Sorry. There's no money in that. We've got the same, blog, which Screen, that's all Screen Rant is, demanding a Rey trilogy. There's rumors of a Rey trilogy. No, there isn't rumors of a Rey trilogy. There isn't. There's no. They're not going to do that. We've got just nonsense going on their part. They're desperate. They're scared shitless. Okay, now there's not as many of the SJW fans that are following them anymore. Again, I don't go on Twitter, but it seems like the enthusiasm, even for the people who liked it, has died down, which is good. Which is good. And there's no money in it. The board knows it. Arnold knows it. Bob Chapek knows it. I'm sorry. I know it's hard for shills to believe and black pills to believe, but when you walk into an Ollie's, good stuff cheap, and you see a rack about 3 feet wide, 4 feet tall, with racks, pegs, and pegs filled 6 or 7 deep of rays from TLJ and TFA, you have a problem with the character and the fact that the fans don't want it. Okay, I run into dealers who are like, oh no, they're making them. No, they're not. Okay, and the reason why is they don't want, I listened to a guy telling me all this stuff and I'm looking at him going, not true. I didn't say anything to him because his kids were there, but, I'm like, no. And I didn't buy anything from him. I wanted to get a Mandalorian Hasbro figure from him, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna. You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. So, no. And it goes, the stink of Iger and Kennedy is there still. Look at the reaction to Galaxy's Edge Hotel. Look at that, the Star Cruiser. And you can bet Susan Arnold's going, we were left with this. They know it's terrible. She's probably been on board. If you're familiar with Star Wars, if they turn it into a generic space hotel, that'd be great. My attitude is they're going to have to remake the hotel. Probably get rid of the Star Cruiser. Now, I have ideas. Could do a Coruscant hotel, high-end, classy hotel with casinos and elegant bars. Maybe have a part of the hotel where there's, you go down a few levels. Because Coruscant is built on levels. And, when you go down to the levels in Coruscant, very interesting that you could have a different feeling. So you could have an actual dive bar. You could actually have a place where smugglers hang out, where, you could see guys like, Cad Bane and Dengar and Bosk, and, it would be cool. I would do that. I would turn it either into Coruscant or Hotel on Naboo or, something like that. And then there you go. And then one night a month you could do prequel stuff. And then, you could have prequel stuff and original trilogy stuff and Mandalorian. Explore all the eras on different nights of the week. All right. And that would be fun, I think. But the Star Cruiser just, after watching some of the videos, especially the large people in their video, I don't see the point. I really, really don't see the point of it. It's not going to do well. All right. The rooms look like, again, if you have claustrophobia, yeah, we'll probably see prices drop first. They're gonna have to do that again. I don't disagree, but they're gonna have to do it over again because this is just, the food looked fine, not a lot. It looked okay. I thought the drinks were okay. I wasn't freaked out by them. I wasn't upset by them. But there's no meat to it. You either make it generic, all right, and you add it to whatever they've got beyond Star Wars, or you tear it down and you turn it into Coruscant. A Coruscant, high-end, classy hotel with parts that you could go to different levels to explore the underworld of Coruscant. I mean, could you imagine, hanging out in like they have like a cantina where you got cosplayers, cast members dressed as patrons, and Asajj Ventress walks in. You know, Boba Fett before the rebellion walks in, or Jango Fett, for doing prequel stuff. Anything like that, that would be cool. All right. There's all kinds of possibilities you could have that would bring people to it that have a blast and a good time without what they're doing. Okay. And Galaxy's Edge, like Mike said it best, Rey was standing there alone by herself and everybody was hanging out by R2D2. Yeah, and I think that would have been really neat. They could be, place that part of the hotel for that. And if you want, you could actually stay in that part of the hotel. Well, I don't understand what you mean by that. I know it's all about money. And, they're going to pay her what they agreed to. So I think her leaving is relevant to what we want. I mean, if they were happy with her, she wouldn't be going anywhere. All right, they were happy with her. She'd be, would have been front and center opening up Galaxy's Edge, the hotel. They don't want her anywhere near it. And she's basically, again, first time we've seen her in a long time is a picture of her in a winter jacket wearing literally the same clothes that she was in England. Okay, I am never getting over that. How can anybody, I don't care if they're older, be cold in 85-degree weather? All right, and that's, well, I mean, you could actually, that would actually be really interesting because, okay, Bone, how you? Glad to see you here. It's, this is all going to be very interesting going into the spring when Kenobi comes out. We may see her doing videos, but I doubt it. I think the board wants her gone. And it's going to be very interesting in the next few months because I think she's gone quicker than we thought. I really do. This whole thing with Indy 5, I think, really showed Disney that the Empress has no clothes. Okay? And I'm going to tell you something. I think Frank Marshall knew. I think he knew all the time she couldn't cut it, leading Lucasfilm. And I don't know what to think about that relationship. I don't know what's going on. I mean, to me, this is all just weird. It's like there's a big piece of the puzzle, like right there. We've got everything all placed out. Let's say, okay, we're all a bunch of CIA analysts, and what they do is they take bits of information, put it up on the wall. But there's a big piece of the puzzle missing. And that's what Kennedy is really doing and what her status is. And that's what's missing right here. So I think within a few months, I think she's gone. If the board wants her gone, there's nothing she can do about it. They're actually the bosses, and they actually work for the owners who are the investors. Okay? Simple as that. Hey, Bill Rob. So this thing with Jon Favreau, and that's another thing. I mean, is he getting? Hey, Matt Piranha, is he getting a better deal here? I mean, is he just doing streaming? Bellany said it was feature films too. All right, that means Kennedy doesn't have any control of Star Wars anymore. Okay, and you know there are people out there who are leaving YouTube. Don't don't you know all this strife going on. We should be together on this, and the people who constantly scream and shout negative stuff, they need to be told, hey, look, things are changing. I don't care if you believe it or not. You're gonna have to let the fans have a united voice once, okay? You're going to have to let people say, we want her gone. We like The Mandalorian. We don't want the sequel trilogy. And if you're not following that timeline, good, keep it up. Fix the Star Wars hotel, it sucks. And make it affordable so we can all go. I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna. I would rather, spend monies and go to, I think, hey, Deborah, I think it was, I also think it was, or Joker voice, I think it was also, Matt Bellany saying that too. Well, I believe that. Look, whether you like him or not, Jon Favreau is one of us. Okay, I'm sure. Hey, that book Crystal Star? I bought it. It's coming. Like I found it on eBay and I bought it. So I'm gonna read it and I'll tell you if it's bad or not. When someone says something's bad and I haven't read it, I have to read it. You know, um, and that's just the thing. It is very good news about John. John, if I'm going to say it, I think he's the head of Lucasfilm now. I think he's gonna. I think he's been given that spot. And the thing that I think was sort of a distraction was that Lasseter spot where he's that Lasseter spot where he's like overseeing several things. They might ask him questions, but I think that he's probably going to be the sole head of Lucasfilm. They need him to be that there. And again, if you're upset about this, if you've got a hard on for Dave Filoni, and you know the you believe all the the whatever about him, he was never George Lucas's protege. Yes, he was. Okay, he was. I'm sorry to tell you that. That's the truth. Okay, now you might not like what he's doing, but George said you wouldn't have liked the sequel trilogy that he planned either. Okay. Again, though, George would change his mind constantly about things. Deborah, I think you're probably right. I think all this stuff hit in October because that's, I believe, and this is just my theory, but I do believe that that's when Children of Blood and Bone was taken off of Kennedy's roster and put out there for bidding. And I think that was a combination of Tommy Adeyemi being upset that she wasn't allowed to write the script, and B, Disney saying, we're not doing this. This is stupid. Lucasfilm does Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Willow. We're not doing this. Okay. And the show that the secret show they're doing. Yeah, it was, and uh, I think Dave Filoni kind of shot that down. I think it would definitely just be Darth Talon. I mean, if they bring Maul back, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm done. You know, this is bringing Maul back the first time. I thought was a little bit overkill. Okay, and again, the reason why is because the fans like him, and I think George realized that there was a lot to that character that we didn't get to see, so he just did it that way. Yeah, it would have been, and the fact I think that the original trilogy heroes would have been respected more. I think you know they try to say that, oh well, each of the big heroes from the original trilogy, one would have died in each one. That's no. Honestly, you know George always said, I don't like killing people off. You watch a movie, you really like a character, and then they kill him. That's, you know, George is right. You know, he was right. So, you know, when Maul gets killed by Obi-Wan, wasn't Mother Talzin and the Night Sisters, weren't they all dead? I mean, didn't uh, Grievous and Dooku get rid of him? I'm just asking. I don't know, I'm just asking. It's just all very interesting to me. Well, Crate would be cool. What I think is because the Sith are gone, that they'd have to come up with something different. You got to be consistent with the story. You can't keep. Yeah, that's what I thought. But thanks for reiterating that. But you know, yeah, but I still think it's like when someone, you know, they're gonna bring Cad Bane back. Okay, all right, they are. Trust me on that. But this is all just, you know, whatever. I mean, you know, I do believe that I believe in October all this stuff happened. All right, remember, October is when uh, it's the fourth quarter. It's the end of the fourth quarter. People get fired. People get hired, and we don't know what's been going on in Lucasfilm, which is why I think, in my opinion, that Matt Bellany would do us all a good favor if he actually started digging into some of this stuff. Like if we heard about a lot of personnel changes from him, I believe it. Grace Randolph, not necessarily. Matt Bellany, yes. The reason why is because he's a lot more connected than she is, and she's like the People magazine, okay? Or like Us magazine, and he's more like Wall Street Journal. You know what I'm saying? But this is the stuff about Favreau. This is not new, and Bellany had already touched on it before. Okay. Well, we hear more about that. It's really going to get interesting. Anyway, I gotta go because I gotta take the dog for a walk, and I'm thinking about lunch, but I took this stuff, taking a supplement that is very expensive, that apparently triggers HGH in your body, your own naturally HGH production. So I can't eat for another hour and a half. But anyway, I gotta go. And Doomcock just dropped a video. I'll see you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be safe. And anything else comes up, and I'll be back. Talk to y'all later.